Hello.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the brand new Dr. Khanna Returning Youth Show. We are here for an hour. This is the first time that we're announcing this. This is the first time we're doing this, and we're incredibly excited. Thank you, Willie Saunders and WPAT, for giving this dedicated hour. We are returning post-incarcerated young adults to a productive life. That's what we're doing here. Please visit us at returningyouth.com. That's returningyouth.com. And we have a number of people on the phone with us, on the line. We have, of course, Dr. Surajit Khanna, which I'm going to introduce in a minute. We have Morel Brown from North Carolina. We have Clem Yaboa on the board of contact for Voice of the Kids. And we have Valley from Montana. Beautiful Montana. Everybody's going to be joining. And I believe on the phone we have Jesse. And Jesse, when you get a chance, I'll introduce you later. So Dr. Khanna, he is an attorney. He is a child safety advocate, a servant of the underserved, a champion of the nonprofit Voice of the Kids, which we're funding. All the funding is going through Voice of the Kids, which is tax deductible. And all your donations are tax deductible when you go to returningyouth.com to help return a young adult back to a productive life. And we're going to give them housing, training, required medical, psychological assistance, whatever is needed to secure a job. We have a lot to talk about today. We had our press conference in New York, which was very successful. We had a member of the town council there who gave us authority to be on town property, which was a great privilege, and he spoke. We had some other people speak. And in addition, this week, we are launching our weekly 1-hour radio show. We're here, and we're still working things out. We're going to get a call-in number. We don't have one yet. But we're going to talk about many different things and how we can improve young people's lives and reduce crime at the same time. And with that as a great background for our first hour, we're really excited to introduce Dr. Surajit Khanna.
Thank you very much, Gary. And thank you, my dear audience, those who are listening to this. You have not been listening to me first time, but I'm very much dedicated and thankful to Willie Sanders and everybody from CFC, and especially the WPAT 930 AM radio, that they could dedicate 1 hour for this returning youth show. So this show has been dedicated only for post-incarcerated young adults, those who are coming out from jail after long struggling there, and they would like to make a difference in the society. And I would like to welcome all of you here, those who are here in my show. I have Clem Yaboa, who is not only the chairman for Voice of the Kids, but he is a proponent and supporter of Dr. Khanna's Returning Youth Show. And then also I have Valley Anderson, all the way from Montana, who is also a very important supporter of my show. Plus, she is working with her connection, parents and grandparents, to take this Returning Youth initiative program to Montana. Very shortly, we'll be opening up a Montana branch, hopefully soon. And last but not the least, with us, we have Ms. Brown from North Carolina, who has been listening to this particular show in CFC radio for last few weeks. She's been a good supporter of this. She believes in the initiative, what we're doing, and she is all the way from North Carolina. And she did express that she would like to have this program in North Carolina sometime in 2021. And I'm very excited. So, Gary, I need to thank you also to putting this program together, this show together in such a short notice, and cooperating with WPA team management to make this happen. Let's make a important dedicated 1 hour so that it becomes more informative to all the audience, because I know there are 30 to 40 million homes who is listening to this radio. So
Yes.
please, everybody, those who are listening to us, please support us. Please take this to your community. This is not my show that I'm going to keep it with me in my pocket or in my home. I want everybody to take this and make this happen. So, Ms. Brown, I have the first question to you in this show, that
Yes.
how excited are you that we are dedicating this 1 hour in the nation, first time ever done, first time ever done in United States, that somebody, some radio show is dedicated only for the returning youth, those who are coming out from post incarcerated, because we want to make sure each and every individual coming out of this incarceration feels they're important, they're needed in this community. So what do you feel? How do you feel today?
Yes, I am very, thank you, Dr. Connor, and all those who are playing an important role, in the front office and the back office. Without a doubt, Dr. Connor, thank you just for your vision, for your leadership, for your tenacity. And it's important in terms of giving those who have been incarcerated, whether it's jail, detention center, or prison, an opportunity not just to come out of those institutions empty-handed, without housing, without transportation, without licenses, without perhaps government assistance to get them started on their new life. So it's very crucial, your program, to be able to really launch in all 50 cities when it's all said and done, and because it's important. I've had relatives who's been incarcerated, and so I know how important it is for them to be able to come back and be very productive.
So do you think that this particular initiative should be taken to every state or every town and village? Do you think that?
Yes, I do believe that. I believe that there are programs we do have here in North Carolina, that help returning citizens. As I said to you a couple of weeks ago, I myself did a family conference, well-being conference, talking about the Declaration, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness, where we had the different programs, and entity and organizations come out to talk about their programs. So we do have programs such as the Goodwill, we have crisis ministry, and so many other programs that help returning citizens. And but it would be good even to have additional, many hands make the work lighter.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to switch all the way to the chairman of Voice of the Kids, Clem Iboa. Clem, I have a very important question for you, that you being the first one to support this initiative along with Gary when we launched this initiative a couple of months ago, especially for the Reformation initiative, and dedicating this particular 1 hour talking nothing but how can we improve these young adults' lives. What do you think? How are we different than any other program that's are in this country? Do you think there is any particular difference we are offering them?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on this. Gary, thank you very much for putting this together at such a short notice. And Ms. Brown, thank you for coming on again. We are always grateful that you can join us.
You're welcome.
And I know we have a guest. I don't recall her name, but
Valley.
Valley. Okay. Come join the team. Our approach to doing this we're looking at a holistic approach. We're looking at using these young men as role models. So in order to use them as role models, we have to prepare them properly to come back into society properly. Then they will be role models for the younger siblings and friends and family that they left behind. Okay, so in another way, we are preventing other younger people from going into jail. Okay, when they have good peer counselors as role models, it prevents further incarceration of other people. But our success in keeping these young men, young adults back in society, keeping them in society, says that we are doing a great job. We are reducing recidivism, and then, you know, the scripture says God gives us multiple chances. So we also want to make sure that these young adults have multiple chances to put their lives back together. That's the difference between what we do and what others do. What others do is they look at it as a halfway house, which is more or less like an extension of a jail system. In our situation, we are approaching this with a lot of humanity, a lot of love, a lot of grace, a lot of everything, you know, holding their hands to take them through the process. And that's what sets us apart, this initiative apart from other initiatives.
No, thank you very much, Clem. Thank you very much for making this clear to the audience that how different we are. And our main focus is to incorporate the love each and every individual they deserve. So by saying that, I'm going to switch the focus on all the way. I know we are East Coast, but I'm going to go all the way to Midwest or West, that is Montana. So we have a wonderful person here, Valley Anderson,
Yes.
and she is a young adult, also a young mom. She's a mom, okay? And she's smiling and she's been supporting this. So what you think, Miss Valley, how can you make this initiative part of your journey and incorporate this in Montana? Do you see a vision to this?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I believe it should be everywhere, just like I feel like a lot of people do. So, with me sharing on Facebook all of the lives and just anything I see coming from your page, probably from Gary. So, I think that's helping. And I've been talking with a lot of people around the valley, and they think it's an awesome idea. So, they're starting to really follow you as well. So, I'm really hoping it can go somewhere here and start to help with the crime rate.
Thank you very much. But what do you see that since you've been talking with me and with Gary several times, and you have been talking to all of your friends and families in your area, do you see that there is a need for this type of initiative to enhance those young adults, those who are coming out of jail?
Oh, yeah, because like housing is really, really high here. And I mean, even for like us two people house comes, it's just ridiculous. So if you're coming out of jail or whatever, you don't really have the means to pay like $2,000-3,000 just to get into an apartment here. So I think with that kind of help and food and transportation, it'll help those not go back into doing what they were doing to make money or just keep busy, so.
Well, thank you very much. Don't log off. We still have a few good chunk of hours to go. So I'm going to shift it to Gary, and I'm going to ask Gary, what is your feeling? I know you've been doing this with me, for a long time with this initiative. We all started this initiative. So what is your feeling? What are you thinking about this initiative, and how everybody can get benefit out of this?
Well, let's be clear that we are looking for help in many different places as possible. We have the vision, actually, you have the vision, Dr. Khanna, to take this initiative nationwide. But we need people like Ms. Brown and Valley, in addition to the great team we have in New Jersey, which Clem and I will be speaking about later, to help us to select locations that we can put returning youth back in for training. We need organizations, companies that are willing, with the state's approval, to take these pre-approved young adults into training, on-the-job training, and then offer them a job, because many of them are having difficulty getting jobs because they have a record. So what happens is they're almost forced back into a life of crime. This is why we're saying help a young post-incarcerated young adult back to a productive life and reduce crime at the same time. Because if we can get that person in a productive life, they are not committing crime. And you know what? It's going to always come to your neighborhood. People always think, well, that doesn't affect me. These people don't affect me, until it affects them. It affects everybody. Crime affects everybody. And we are actively, city by city, targeting locations so that we can get these young adults as they come out of incarceration, even to identify them before they come out of incarceration with the state's approval, and put them into our homes. Now, I'd like to talk about specifically New Jersey. Clem and I have been working aggressively. We have signed the financial information regarding it. I'm going to let him talk first, and then I'll back him up. Hey, tell everybody, Clem, what are we doing in New Jersey? You're on mute there, Clem. I'll start. Go ahead, Clem.
Well, in New Jersey, what we're trying to do.
Clem, you muted yourself again. Thank you.
I'm technically challenged.
No, we're all new at this. This is our first show, so go ahead, Clem.
Right. So in New Jersey, we want New Jersey to be some kind of the epicenter of this initiative, and we're starting from the city of Elizabeth, and we have already gained access to housing, which we will be signing the lease next week. We've gained access to that, and we are looking also to expand the role we have in New Jersey to go to places like Newark, the Oranges, and the whole place. Because one of the things I like about New Jersey is that in Newark, there is a community-based effort to regain the streets, okay, to take control of the streets. So what we see is that by adding this level to what they are doing, we are doing a grassroots, gradual taking back our lives. And once we do that, then those who are in the suburbs, who are often, well, it is happening in the inner city, is not our problem. Well, guess what? It's always your problem, because the inner city problem gets the same youth go and do robberies and other things in the suburbs. So if we can do something for them, and we want to look at it from Elizabeth, we're going to Union County, we're going to Newark, we're going, moving out moving out from Elizabeth and moving to all the environment.
Hey, Clem, I have to interrupt. I apologize. We have a lot of people who want to talk.
Right. Okay.
And we have I'll get back to you, but we have someone with very limited time. We have Jesse from Philadelphia area, Jesse Levine, who has a guitar studio which is helping underprivileged children. Jesse, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what you know about this and how.
Yeah, hi Gary. Yeah, thanks for bringing me on. Well, you mentioned that we have a guitar studio, and we do for neighborhood kids. We provide an opportunity for the kids to learn a skill. It's like learning a new language. We teach them guitar, teach them music. We teach them values. We think we're giving them a skill they can walk out of here with and have it for their life. I know firsthand what it's done for members of my family, having a skill like that. It's a once a week class that we do. We're talking about possibly expanding the class to offer it to some of the youth coming out and coming into Dr. Khanna's program, to just basically give them another skill that they can fall back on. My background, my experience, Gary, is not in the music school or business, but I've been an advocate for the past 20 years, primarily working with victims of sexual abuse and other forms of child abuse. We're very much involved with child abuse cases in the Catholic Church. We're involved in the first class action against the Vatican. The Vatican has since come forward and admitting to some of the literally the horrors that have gone on in the church with youth. I've spoken to former choir boys, former children who really were looking to become a priest and continue their religious training, to have been abused and have gotten very much off course. Some very sad stories. We've worked with Boy Scouts, people who 30 years ago, 40 years ago were Boy Scouts and abused and still carry the stigma with them these days. I talked to some of them firsthand, and the stories are very sad. And other organizations, it's not unique to either of those organizations.
Jesse, I'm showing right now. I just want to let you know that I'm showing online your school. Okay, so everybody can see the Alex Levine School of Guitar. What it is, the founder, you are the founder, Jesse. You established the school in 2019 as a tribute to your son, who unfortunately passed away. Tell us about the school.
Well, we meet, we have a very qualified teacher. We meet once a week for an hour and a half. We have weekly 7 to 10 kids. We've capped it at that. We're actually breaking a wall down here to enlarge the studio and bring on a few more children to the class. Boys and girls, age 5. We have one 5-year-old to 13. And it's just a blessing. We teach the kids, we provide them with a guitar. They take it home to practice. It's fantastic to watch the kids bond. They come in as strangers. They don't know each other. And over a period of time, they become friends, especially these days when the kids have really limited interaction with their friends because of COVID. They have a safe place to come weekly. We observe mask setting, social distancing. We practice that. The kids know it. They know what's expected of them. The parents come. Some drop them off. Some stay. We have a parents' lounge for those who stay. We had our first annual pre-Thanksgiving dinner last Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It was terrific. Dr. Khanna joined us, and we loved having him. He's been to the sessions, have met with the children. So we're excited about it. We want to continue it. We're a couple of weeks ago, we took the kids into pretty big time recording studio here, where we did a session. They recorded 3 songs. They've each received a link to that. They show it around. They take it with them. They play it on their phones.
Thank you very much. Jesse, I want to ask you what you think of Dr. Khanna's initiative, what we're trying to accomplish here.
Well, I'm 100% behind it without question. I mean, it fits everything that I've been doing in my lifetime, frankly.
Jesse, let me tell you this. Jesse, this is Dr. Khanna here. I'm so glad that you could join today. I know we can see your beautiful face, but at least you could join over the phone.
That's on purpose. I didn't want to discourage your audience.
Well, I was debating because, you said I'm so handsome, so I didn't want you to take over this screen. So I'm glad that you did not put your face there. But Jesse, I'm so excited that you accepted a position in my initiative as a supporter, as a person who always supported me in this initiative. And I'm so happy. What do you think the audience should listen from you about this initiative? Because they've been tired of listening from me. What do you think? What can you contribute to the audience about this initiative?
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I know your heart, and that's all the people have to know. Your concern is to provide a better life, to give kids a chance, and I'm with you 100% on that. I'm shoulder to shoulder with you on the program. Whatever I can do to help. Every kid deserves a second chance, a third chance, depending on how his second chance is provided to him. But he needs the tools to have that chance. So you're setting the program, as I say. I know your heart. I know your goals, and I support you 100%. I'm with you. Whatever we can do through the school, through my own personal contacts, abilities, count me in. Let's
thank you.
Let's
thank
get
you very
this
much,
launched.
Jesse. And the audience, I would like you all to know that Mr. Jesse Levin is taking this particular initiative and launching it in Philadelphia area in Montgomery County. So we are looking for some housing which will be looked at next week. He already have some contacts and also been talking to some people, those who are going to take to the next step. So we are moving to Pennsylvania shortly with the leadership of Jesse Levin. And Jesse, I would really thank you for that. And as you know, we have a young lady here that's from Valley Anderson from Montana, and who is taking this initiative to Montana. So maybe this guitar school can also go to Montana. So be ready to drive to Montana with your coach. And also we have. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We have a few buffalo lined up already in our class in Montana.
Wow!
But we're looking for some more people, so that's good. And Dr. Khanna, let me just say, knowing your heart and knowing what you have in the program, and that is a tremendous start. But we need to fund this program. We need to start getting donors. I'm working on that. I've made my initial contribution, but I want to help in that area, and that's the most important. We can't work out of an empty wagon. Right. We need to get the funds in there. Let's talk about what we need to do to get the money in so we can run this program and do what we all want to do for these kids.
All right, so let me show you.
So listen, I'm going to listen now. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to be listening.
All right, so listen, you mentioned how could you help us? Well, we're going to show you how you can help us right now, because We are on the returningyouth.com. Please go to returningyouth.com. We have an exciting announcement today that we have Ariana Ramsey, a member of the U.S. women's rugby team, in addition to everybody else that's on the line here. I don't want to diminish anyone, but we're excited that she has joined us. She endorses this campaign, and not only that, she's an advocate of the campaign. Here's a picture of her scoring a try. They call it tries in rugby, a 5-point try. But she's training to be on the Olympic team. She trains, I think, 6 or 7, 8 hours a day. So, and she has experience with people in her family and her neighborhood being incarcerated. So she's fully behind this. Give a young adult out of jail a second chance, reduce crime at the same time. Please give whatever you can. You can just give $1 at returningyouth.com, but you can give more. We would like to be able to have as much as we can. We have certain goals by the end of the year. So returningyouth.com. And Clem, I know we cut you off. We're going to get back to you, Morel. Don't worry, we'll get back to you. But Clem,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
we know we cut you off. Why don't you continue?
I think what Clem was planning to tell, and I would like to add and ask a little more question to Clem. So our first location for this initiative is, you mentioned Elizabeth, New Jersey. So
That's
where
correct.
do we stand on this? Where do we go? Where do we stand? And what is your vision for this particular first model location, so that Jesse, Valley, and Miss Brown can take this as an example and go to the next step in their township and implement this? Please tell us.
We are on track to have some young adults in this residence by the 15th of December. So we're going to do this very aggressively and, start this pilot by the 15th of December.
That's fantastic. Yes, Clem and I are working together. We have a phenomenal team in New Jersey. We have Amisha Brown, we have Kevin Brown, we have Eddie and Eddie Roberts. So they've been working very hard. They've been looking at properties. You know how difficult it is when it's a buyer's market to find a property to rent. We're very happy to be able to secure this, and we're very happy to do that. But, we're going to come up with a couple of ways that you can help us. You can support a young adult if you want. You can pay for their dinners if you want. You can pay for their transportation. We're going to be divvying up different pieces of what it costs to house these, and different areas pay for their training. You can donate to that. We're working it out, Clem and I and Dr. Khanna. Go ahead.
Let me just quickly give an overview of the program itself, since you're talking about the costs.
Yes.
What we're planning to do is to provide them housing, provide them food, provide them the counseling for on-the-job training, career path design. We'll give them initial health assessment, psychiatric assessment, and all that. Now, each part of these costs money. We're not coming out of the incarceration. They don't have money in their pockets. So we are looking to fund these through fundraising. Now, there are programs that already receive government funding. But when it comes with the government funding, there are very strict guidelines on what you can use the money for, what you cannot use the money for, and so on and so on. We want to do something. We want to start this as a pilot, as a foundation. We are using the community support, corporate support, foundation support to do this, to lay a good foundation. After the foundation is laid, we will then be in a position to receive government funding. Government funding is usually for 1 year or for a certain number of years repeatedly. When the government funding gets taken away, we don't want to be left without a foundation. So we are laying the foundation first before we even look at government funding. And that's why we need each person to be on board, supporting us in whatever amount they can to support what we do. If someone pay for the housing for a person, they are free to do that. Okay, one of the things we will do is we'll get them cell phones. Okay, they're coming out. We'll get them cell phones. We want to be able to reach them to reach their counselors and so on and so on. And so there are a lot of those things that people can opt to donate or fund.
Thank you, Clem. And listen, everybody who's on the phone, if you're listening on the line, okay, we're in, broadcast to 30 million homes. If you're driving, please go to returningyouth.com, Returning Youth, and just give $1 if you can, and share this with your friends and family. 'Tis the season to be jolly. It's the giving season now. So please help us reach our destinations. We have very aggressive goals. We're working very fast. We're getting people on board who are relatively significant. We're excited about all the people we're getting on board, but we need you on board. We need everybody. We can't do it alone. We can't do this initiative neither can Dr. Khanna or Clem or I do it alone. We need all of your help. So please share this with others. And, at the very little, we're asking for just give $1. So that's not a lot to ask. So with that,
Gary, I was having an idea. Maybe Ms. Brown can join in and tell me that whether my idea is good enough or not. Even Valley, you can jump in and say that because one of you have, or all of you have a lot of friends and families, especially during this holiday time. So why don't we just solicit for this particular wonderful program and ask them $1. Let us collect the $1. They don't have to go to returningyouth.com. If they want, they can, but sometimes it is very difficult for them to go. So you all can collect $1, and let's say we make, like, each of us collect 10 people and 10 people text 10 people, like that. If each of us collect $1 and Valley or Ms. Brown or Jesse, myself, Clem, we all collect once a week. We can collect those $1, and then we can turn it on to Voice of the Kids, which every dollar counts. Every dollar is tax deductible. What do you think, Ms. Brown? Is that a good idea?
yes, you have to unmute. She's still muted. So please unmute so we can hear you. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate that. I have my air conditioning going at point, so that's where you'll hear that sound. Yeah, I think it's a great idea in terms of fundraising. What I'm going to do is I do have to talk to you guys offline as far as how, I definitely want to support, but I'm also starting my own nonprofit as well. And we're about to get into our fundraising, but I definitely want to be able to help you, continue to market, promote what you're doing. It's on my, Facebook page. I want to put it on my website, so we'll talk offline concerning that. But it is a great idea. It's actually fundraising in what they call an exponential way. I believe
the reason I wanted to talk about this, because the audience, those who are listening, they can get this idea from them, because everybody cannot just go to returningyouth.com and do it, but
yes,
they can give it to somebody, and they can take the leadership to collect all this fund and keep it. And then then you can join, ask Clem or Ms. Brown or Valley or Gary, reach out to us. We can arrange to collect the money. That's why I wanted your opinion in it, that if you can do this, everybody can do it.
You know what?
It's exponential funding. Yes. I just want to say this before we get off. Okay. Thank you, Gary, has given me an opportunity just to be able to share what I do. MBI, Morel Brown Coaching. I am a minister first, keynote speaker, mentor, best-selling author. as well as a leadership and lifestyle coach. What we're doing for this particular month is we want to help individuals and families to be able to maximize in life 2021. And we are offering free coaching services, 15-minute consultation, talk about any problem. You must be specific. And we want to help set up a plan so you can reach your goal for 2020. So if your goal,
I'm your first client.
I appreciate that. I was going to say that, you know, whatever you are solving a problem, if we could help you, partner with you to solve that problem, or the 30 million that are out there, you know, no matter where you are in life, especially during this pandemic, we want to help you to maximize in 2021. Thank you. 862-205-9077.
One more time.
862-205-9077.
And you can contact us at contactk.com. This is a great idea. 15 minutes. You have a problem. Give her your biggest problem, whatever it is. 15 minutes, free consultation. That's a great idea.
As I told Ms. Brown, I'll be the first one to join in the line.
I appreciate it. I will welcome you. I appreciate that. Yes.
Now, one of the things I wanted to do was to, do you guys remember the ice bucket challenge?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Here is what I want is for someone in the audience to suggest a challenge based on which we will go ahead and use that as a fundraising point.
Right.
Okay. We want participation to see how we can give us a team, give us a clutch, something to use. All right. And I'm throwing this out to the audience for them to come up with something similar to the ice bucket challenge.
And you know what? If you have an idea, anybody in the audience, please contact us at contactk.com. Clem, that's a great idea. Contact
Gary, there's a phone number. They can dial into the phone number, and they can also give their advice or give their donation, whatever they want to do. They have a phone number there. Why didn't you tell them the phone number? It is on the website.
Yes, 302-746-2311. We are working technology from a technical point of view to transfer that to us when we're on the line so we can accept phone calls live. We're not there yet, but we can at least take messages. We want to hear your thoughts, 302-746-2311. I know everybody in the car, they can't go to contactk.com and leave us a message there. They can't type, but you can call us. So we're improving how we're dealing with the audience. We're dealing with the public. We want to be easy to deal with. We have a simple website for donations, returningyouth.com, 302-746-2311, contactk.com. New Jersey is new. We're opening a house there. We just had a press conference in New York. We're going to have a press conference tentatively, we'll see next week. And also with our team in New Jersey, we're going to have a virtual dinner. This is pretty exciting, a virtual fundraising dinner. So what we're going to do is give a dinner to anyone who joins us online. For when we're online for a virtual dinner, we'll send it to you or maybe give you a credit card, whatever it is, a couple of dollars to pay for your dinner. Your donation will cover that and plus a little bit more. We have all the dollars we're going to come to. We're planning to do this in a restaurant in New Jersey. We have other areas, but we're pretty excited. We want to be able to raise money for this. So no matter where you are in the country, we will get you a dinner for a donation. So donate for a dinner, and we're going to try to get someone of significance, some interesting quote unquote celebrities to join us on the Zoom call so that it's going to be a personal Zoom call with you and them. And you'll have a chance to ask them questions and you'll have a chance to join us. It'll be pretty exciting. We're all going to be eating and chomping down the food at the same time we're on Zoom. This is an interesting COVID-19 idea because of all the craziness we're going through. You know, you can't eat inside. Now you're saying you can't eat outside. It doesn't make a difference. We're going to get around all the problems and we're going to deal with the problem that we're trying to solve, which is getting returning youth back on their feet. So we're going to have a virtual dinner via Zoom, via donation. So stay tuned for that. That's very interesting. So
thank you, Gary, for bringing that up. It was a very good point. Actually, this can be also done in Montana. Valley
yes,
can Valley can take a lead of having all her friends and families organize a fundraising dinner for this particular initiative and contact your local restaurant from where the food can be delivered to their home, but they can join in Zoom and we can arrange some celebrity to join us on the dinner so that they can be done. So if Valley can do it, if Ms. Brown can do it, we all can do it. Jesse is planning as well, along with me. We are planning to do it in one in Pennsylvania pretty soon. So I don't want to leave Valley dry there. So Valley, do you have any idea or any thought? Look at that wonderful baby next to you, Valley. So she is that baby ready for joining our radio show?
ready for prime time. Is the baby ready for prime time?
He's a little crabby, just woke up.
So listen.
Valley, why don't you give us a little bit insight about I know you have quite a bit of friends and families. You know those who are coming out of the incarceration or being incarcerated, and when they come out, what are the challenges do they face? And you think that challenges can be solved?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it has to do with like a mental awareness type deal where giving psychiatric help and like counseling would help them become in a different mindset, I guess, like especially if they were using drugs before. I feel like counseling would really benefit them to help stay like clean or whatever. Also, of course, like housing, and everybody needs food, so that's always a given to get help when you are just getting out and have nothing.
Well, the main thing, Valley, what we are offering here is, besides housing, anybody can offer housing, anybody can offer food, anybody can offer job, anybody can offer everything. But I don't think many people, other than this team you are seeing here, can offer a very valuable thing, that is love. We need to give love to
True.
these people. Okay. And that's why we have Miss Brown, we have Clem, we have Jesse, we have Gary, we have Valley. These are people full of love. There's unlimited love they can give everybody because we want them to feel important. We want them to feel that we do care for them. If we do care, that means they need to transform themselves. I don't believe anything is difficult. I know sometimes when some people say that when this young adults come out of incarceration, they have difficult time because they cannot get rid of the drugs they were used to. They can't get rid of some of the addictions they had. But you know what? Every addiction can be eliminated, and there can be a transformation if we inject love to them. So this mental incarceration, which I've been telling every time when I speak, that this post-incarceration initiative is the prime thing is to take them out of the mental incarceration, because physical incarceration, anybody can do it, and they have done it. Okay. Gary is showing this. This is physical incarceration. They broke it. But what about the mental incarceration? The mental incarceration is big because the trauma they go through during the incarceration process is unbelievable. That stays there. So getting rid of the mental incarceration is the prime focus for this particular initiative. I'm not undermining any other initiative that is going on around the United States. Everybody doing a phenomenal job by supporting them with food, with housing, with job skills, with jobs and everything. But all we need to do, we need to spice it up a little bit. And that spicy is the love. Okay, so it will be like a fusion. We need to have fusion. We need everybody to come in, and we need to put little love into it, and that love goes million miles for
Thank you.
an individual. What
Thank
do you
you.
think, Gary?
Well, let me just elaborate on mental incarceration because I've had some people ask me, they got confused about the terminology, and I think it's pretty simple. When these people are released from jail, they are not released from the bondage that jail has imprinted in their minds because they have been, unfortunately, when people go to prison or go to jail, they come out as a better criminal than they went in, than when they went in. And that mindset is there. Now, we have talked to John Marks in New Jersey, who has put 1,000 of these post-incarcerated youth through his system. He has invaluable experience, and the learning we're hearing from him is that these young adults are coming to a program with the attitude of, how do I game the system? How do I get by? Because that's how you live in jail, in prison. You try to game the system because you're trying to just live to the next moment and get what you need to get. And you know what? Through love, through training, through opportunities, these young people's minds change, and they begin to see that opportunity is really more important for their lives than just gaming the system temporarily. So that's the mental incarceration we're trying to break from them.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. Clem, you had something to add on?
Yes, I just want to say that in the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area, we are starting off with the minority community, the people of color.
Yes.
Statistics show that more than 80% of the youth incarcerated are minorities. And we want to break the cycle so that they get a better chance of moving forward. We are starting with the minority communities, and we will continue to expand into the other communities. Now, in Valley's area in Montana, yes, we want to do a multiracial if we can, but because see, we're using that also as a pilot. So we want to see what we can change, what we can improve as we go along, and because we want to make this a national event, we want to make sure that we start with the minority communities. That's where we make the most impact.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Just want to make that clear.
It's like you said, they are
disproportionately.
Say that 3 times fast.
Disproportionately
represented, which means, very simply, there's a much higher percentage of African American, mostly men, who get arrested and then go back into jail. And even we've talked to someone who was a police officer in New York who explained to us that the police department's reactions sometimes to crime is the knee-jerk reaction is, well, if there's crime someplace, just go and arrest more people. And so we're trying to work with these young men and young women eventually that come out of imprisonment, out of incarceration, not to look at the future of their lives and not be, quote unquote, get back into a lifestyle of crime. So they will not be whatever that word is, they won't be part of that African American community going in jail, out jail, being part of the turnstile, just going in and out. Go ahead, Clem.
We don't want them to continue to be victims of the racist divide that is always exposed in the system of law enforcement. We don't want
Gary, let me add something to it. I know we are running out of time. We have 3 minutes there. But since we are talking about the mental incarceration thing, psychological and mental thing, I've been talking to a very, very prominent and famous stem cell specialist named Dr. Soni, and also spoke to Dr. Beverman, and each of them, they say that when this mental balance happens, the psychological cells in the brain cells, they go through this lot of traumatic effect, and because of the traumatic effect, some cells they die, some cells become less active. So if, and this is another thing which I would like to tell the audience, that in our initiative we have multiple experts such as Dr. Beverman, Dr. Soni, who are going to offer their services, offer their consultation, offer their treatment to this post incarcerated young adults so that they can have good balance in their mindset, so that they can think better, they can get rid of this the psychological trauma which they went through. So that is another thing which I would like to add. And one of these Fridays, I can we can invite them to join us and tell more to our audience how those treatment works.
Well, absolutely, because we've heard, you and I, that through proper diagnosis and proper treatment, including drugs, including vitamins, the brain, the cycle in the brain can be broken and changed more positively. I know these doctors, Dr. Soni and Dr. Braverman, can explain this much better than I can, but it's really interesting how addressing their physical being via drugs and vitamins and supplements can really significantly change their mindset. Also, food. We have found, there's been studies that proper food, when people come out of incarceration, can actually help change behavior. We had on the radio show Dr. Catherine Goulet, who actually quoted a study, and here's the book that she has, but she actually quoted a study showing that within a prison, improving food reduced crime. We're getting down to the last 10 or 15 seconds. Please go to returningyouth.com, returningyouth.com, and give a dollar, and we're going to see you next week. So we really appreciate it. Say goodbye, Dr. Khanna. Say goodbye, Clem.
No, thank you very much. I really
see you on next week.
Glenn, and also Valley for joining in this first show of Dr. Khanna's Returning Youth Show. And also would like to thank Gary for hosting this and making it a success. Let's take God bless and a happy Friday.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.